Okay, my name is Dennis Boating, and I originally come from Ghana, and from the Bronga Half region to be specific. Yes, the feeling was exciting. Um, I had the opportunity to travel to Europe to further my studies, and just as when you have the opportunity to explore around, I was very excited to come to Europe. So my excitement was not in the travel, but my excitement was in the education that I wanted to experience. So I came by flight, and I had a transition between Spain. So it was a transit flight. So I came through Spain initially. That was a transit flight. So I came with a flight, but I had to make a stopover in Spain. This was in 2015, and it was when the winter season, just around the ending of the year. It was somewhere in October. So when my education had just started for the fresh students. So that was in 2015 in October, 15th October, yes. That was not the first time I was traveling, but this was the first time I was coming to stay long in a country to pursue something like my educational career. So it was the first time I psychologically had in my mind that I had traveled for long, because most of the time that I used to travel, it was for short conferences and not for a long stay, like I came to Belgium. Yeah, unfortunately, it was in the night, and I had to make my way to one hostel, and it was not an easy experience. I did not have anybody to meet me at the airport like regularly, that like you should, and I came at an odd time because it was the last train from the airport to the vicinity where I had to go to school. And I got to the place, and unfortunately, I was only having €100 in my pocket. And this money could not help me find an accommodation in that night for a stay in any hotel, because the hotels, the minimum that it cost in that night was €150. And I still remember it was not an easy night, but yeah. Yeah, I have been to some of the countries around Europe. I've been to Portugal, I've been to France, I've been to Spain, I've been to Netherlands, I've been to Germany. So roughly not more than 10, but between 8 and 10 years. No, I traveled alone. I came here alone, and my family is back home. So I traveled here alone. So it's hard to say, because in Belgium there are three languages already. So you don't even really know which people you are dealing with. You have the French people, you have the Germans, and you have the Dutch. But I think in Brussels it depends on where you stay in Belgium. I had an experience on the Limburg side, especially in Hasselt, and I felt the rules were very, very strict. And after school, I migrated to the capital, and I felt the rules were a bit relaxed. But you know, all the people, they are nice, but very hard on their laws. And I think that they are people who have an open mind to different cultures. And I also had an open mind to have learn from different people. So I think yeah. Certainly, certainly. So I remember once in my school, we were a group of Ghanaian students, and we had to do one exams, and unfortunately, the whole semester's exams was had to be retaken. In fact, the whole year's exam had to be retaken, and it was the worst experience in my education that I have ever had. And I couldn't have thought about it like how I could have gone through. Because as a student here in a foreign land where there is no family, all you know is just to be in your room and study. And then all just went down the drain was a very big challenge for me. And it was really one of the worst times I had as a student. So those are one of the times that I really remember as one of the worst times I ever had in Belgium. But I have had several other experiences, but I think that was the worst. Yes, I do. I remember one time, yeah, I also had the opportunity to have a work experience to to work here in Europe. And I remember I had to go back home to my country, and I had made these applications, and I even had my plane tickets bought and everything. And then I had an email from the company that they had hired me to work, and it was really exciting and really um, happy that I had that opportunity at that particular time, and it was really exciting for me in those moments. So the challenges are diverse. For example, when you are a student, you have the student's challenge. When you are a worker, you have the worker's challenge, and when you have the family, you have the family's challenge. So the challenges are different, and I'm privileged to have gone through almost most of these challenges as a student, as a worker, and as a family. But I think the thing is, most of these challenges, as long as even when you were back home, it's always like that. The challenges come almost on everyday basis, and your ability to overcome these challenges, such as you being able to organize yourself, you being able to organize your thoughts and conquering these problems and all these challenges that come about, is the most important thing. For example, the education system in Belgium is a very difficult one, and you need to place your mind in that space that you are going to make it no matter what, because it's a very difficult one, and it's not something where you just be a student and relax and expect to pass. So that challenge is one which involves your whole being. I mean, putting your whole body and your soul into it and making sure you are prepared. And then from work, it's also like that. You don't expect to lax around. You work every minute, every second counts. So the work challenge is also there, and then the family challenge is where you have family around, and you have to be able to organize everything in terms of your schedules and your timing. So I think the challenges, yeah, they exist every day, but our ability to be able to work around it and bring solutions to the table makes it not seem as a challenge. Unfortunately, not, because even back home it's hard to get a job, and the criteria for having a job in Europe, it's no easy one, because you are not only looked at from the standpoint of your academic records or your experience because they've not experienced you before. So usually it's just I would not say it's by chance or it's by, but I believe that it's God that provides some of these opportunities, and especially from where we are coming from. We have had exposures, but those are not enough to warrant you a job in Europe. And I always say to people, and I always say that me having a job here was not because I am the most intelligent or the most brilliant or the most connected. It just came because God gave me this job and He had a purpose for me, and I took it, and also knowing that it does not come by chance. So, for people who are looking for jobs, you should believe that it's something which is not easy, but if you have a bigger goal in life and you have a bigger ambition, that's not enough. You also need God. Yes. Yeah, for me, I've always believed that anywhere you are, you should make the best use of that opportunity and place. You could be anywhere and still make it. Yes, and in this time and in this point, I feel I have a role to play in where I find myself now. But looking ahead in the future, I think it's also your ability to plan ahead and know where exactly you can maximize your potential in life. So I look very wide. I have an open mind. I have the ability to achieve anything I dream of. I am not bounded by the geographical location. I'm not bounded by the people around me. It's all the most important thing that matters to me is being able to make that impact wherever you find yourself, even it's even a minute or 2 minutes or one day or 2 weeks, 1 month. It's that quality that you invest in other people. So for me, it's not about whether I have an opportunity to make an impact here. I do what I can do in my time and in my season. Yeah, I mean, the problems here, as I indicated, they are numerous, and you can also help in any other small way. But I think I'm meant to be a billionaire very soon. Yes. So first I would start from the back, especially from back home. So many youth and many young men and individuals think the lifestyle in Europe is on autopilot, and everyone wants to travel to Europe. It's a good thing if you want to explore and know much and also have an exposure to foreign culture. But I also think um, when you have the opportunity to travel anywhere or you have the opportunity to live your life anywhere, you have to make an impact, because you don't need to travel to Europe to make an impact. You can make an impact wherever you are. Despite this, when you are here in Europe, it's not a land of freebies. It's not a land where you think everything is rosy. When people tell you there are issues here in Europe, you would marvel, because in the night, there are people who are sleeping on the streets. There are people who don't have square meals to eat. The problems that exist in Africa also exist in Europe. And it's not a mirage. I mean, people come to Europe and they take the best scenes in shops, they take the best scenes, I mean, in their winter jackets and all of that. But that is not enough to tell you the real life in Europe. You know, people don't tell you when they ride their bicycle for more than an hour to go to work. They don't tell you when they have bills and they are overwhelmed. These are the things that you have no clue to what they are going through. So when you have an opportunity to move to Europe, please, please, please again, have a good motivation for coming to Europe. Don't think when you are in Europe, everything is rosy, because you have to work hard and you always have to be in the books. Don't use the wrong means. because here in Europe, it's always difficult when you don't have the right type of documentation and all of that. So I would just tell the youth and all the people who want to move to Europe that come with, if it's education, come with that plan. If it's for work, just make sure that you have the right documentation that will not make things difficult for you. And also to the people in Europe, yeah, we continue to be grateful for giving us, some of us, the opportunity to be in the society and also interact and also live a life with them. The only thing is that we have to tolerate each other and we have to be people who are loving. Sometimes you meet an African brother or you meet an European. It's not about anything like, I don't like to go to the things that they talk about racism, but as long as it's the same blood, it's the same country that you live in, the same bus, the same trains, we have to coexist as people who are loving. When you see a brother or you see a sister in need, as long as you are an African, whether they are European, it's that heart. It's that heart that you open up to people that matters. So to the people in Europe, I would also say, let's still continue to live as brothers and sisters, and let's look ahead, because there are a lot of challenges in this world where each and everyone can contribute to each other's success and breakthrough in this world. So I think that's what I can say to people in Europe and also people back home in Africa. I also want to use this opportunity. To extend all the well wishes in this year to everyone who is going through a hard time, all those who are going through the difficulties in life, that it is not over until it's over. Just keep believing, just keep hoping, and just keep working at it, that somehow, some way, it will all come together. And don't give up in despair. I know that times are hard, but there is a bright light at the end of the tunnel. So this is an encouragement to everybody out there watching, that it's not over. And wherever you are, just give yourself much more space and give yourself much more motivation needed to become who you are. And above all, God is the only one who is able to change your life to make it the best that He has planned for you. So thank you very much for this opportunity.